Hey, it's Dr. Eric Shoemaker, and I want to give you this quick video on something that could be life-changing, which is the Axiom Advanced Plan. This is the meal plan that we recommend for anybody trying to turn around what I call the 5 factors. So if you're interested in weight loss, if you're interested in getting your cholesterol under control, your blood pressure, your blood sugar, reversing diabetes, I've seen it happen all with this advanced plan. Now, the slides here, this is called 20 and 30 because I've seen people routinely lose 20 pounds in 30 days doing this plan. And it's not calorie counting. It's not, depriving yourself. You're getting to eat a lot of great food. I'm going to show you how to do this in this short video. So first of all, what exactly is the Axiom Advanced Plan and who's it for? Well, it's for anyone with one or more of these 5 factors. Now, if you paid attention even during COVID, you saw that 90 something percent, 93% or 94% of people that were hospitalized with COVID had 2 or 3 of these 5 factors. So this is the vast majority of the United States has at least one of these 5 factors. And this is how we turn it around. So who's it for? So if you have high blood pressure, this is for you. If you have now what I mean, if you have high blood pressure controlled by medicine, that's still you because it's not fixed. It's controlled by medicine and with all kinds of side effects and ignoring the underlying cause. So if you have high blood pressure or on high blood pressure medication and would like to get off of it, this is for you. High cholesterol or triglycerides. If your doctor's ever told you have high cholesterol, your triglycerides are high, this is for you. If you've been told that you have high blood sugar or your A1C is high, so that could be pre-diabetes or full-blown diabetes, this is for you. If you want to lose weight, if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired and you've been stuck and you haven't been able to lose weight, this is a hormone-based weight loss plan that works phenomenally well at correcting the hormone imbalances that I'm going to go through today. And then the other one is autoimmune diseases. So fibromyalgia, lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, multiple sclerosis, any of those things all have inflammation at the base. And this meal plan is designed to restore your hormones, the hormone called leptin, which is your weight loss hormone. It's meant to reduce inflammation, which is why it helps with so many of these, and restore normal blood sugar levels. Okay, so just real quickly, what I've seen happen over 25 years, I can't tell you how many people I've seen get off of blood pressure medication when they start doing this plan because they just don't need the blood pressure medication anymore because it reduces their inflammation so much. I've just had a patient recently was able to completely normalize his cholesterol levels as triglycerides went from 400 down to 83 doing this plan. I have a patient named Art who reversed his type 2 diabetes in 14 days. He had been type 2 diabetic on metformin for over I think 12 years and reversed his type 2 diabetes and normalized his blood sugar without the medication within 2 weeks. Now understand, I don't get anybody off medication. I don't put it on them, put them on it. But if we can get to the cause of your problem, that's where I see people that are able to ditch their medication and talk to the doctor and say, I don't want to take this anymore. And I've seen that happen a ton. I can't tell you how many people I've seen reverse their diabetes. Bob is another example of that. If you've been a patient long, you've heard me talk about him, but completely reversed his type 2 diabetes and lost 40 pounds. And then autoimmune disorders as well. People, everything from MS, where I've seen people with MS do incredibly well, people with rheumatoid arthritis, any of those things, that's what this is for. Okay, so it's not the full lecture on it, but I'm going to show you how to work with the PDF that we give you and how you can dive in and get this started today. So first things first. You've been lied to about weight loss, okay? You've been told that so I'm going to focus a lot of this on weight loss today, but if you have any of those 5 factors, please watch the video because you understand why we're doing each of the things that we're doing in the meal plan. So number 1, fat makes you fat. That's a lie. It's not fat that makes you fat. It's the inability to burn fat that makes you fat. So good fats help your body burn fat. So you'll please see plenty of good fats in this meal plan. You'll see things like coconut oil. You'll see things like olive oil. You'll see healthy nuts and seeds. Those avocado oil, those things are very good for you, but it's the inability to burn fat that makes you fat. And you burn fat because of a hormone called leptin. Okay, so this is from Richie Shoemaker, a great quote from Richie Shoemaker. Dr. Richie Shoemaker says to take advantage of molecular research that has radically changed our understanding of weight loss and obesity in recent years. One simple fact: weight loss is actually about hormones like insulin, leptin, and the others that they control. It's not about calories in and calories out. You've seen this before. Weight loss resistance is where you try to limit your calories, you maybe lose 5 or 10 pounds, and then you hit a wall. Does that happen to anybody? You hit a wall and you're like, I can't do it. Or even if you do lose weight, you put all the weight back on, because all you're doing is basically depriving your body of calories. If I get you only eating 500 calories a day, you'll lose weight. But the problem is your metabolism will then go down to where your body hits a reset point and you no longer lose weight, because your body's like, all right, if you're going to starve me, I'm not going to burn all this fat. I'm going to hang on to this fat because I need to. You'll go into starvation mode. So this is actually about insulin and leptin, which are the two biggest hormones that cause weight gain and prevent you from losing weight. So what happens in this whole, what we call leptin resistant, which is the vast majority of people that I talk to are leptin resistant. Now, leptin is the hormone that tells your body to burn fat. Okay. So it tells your body to burn fat. So you get, what happens here is your brain stimulates hunger. Okay. And then you eat a hamburger, a cheeseburger, or whatever that stores fat. And then fat is bound to something, or I'm sorry, leptin is something that shuts off that hunger signal and tells your body to burn fat. So leptin will then go back to the brain and say, okay, burn fat, turn off the hunger signal. But what happens, because we've had a poor diet over time, because we have too many fat cells in our body, then fat cells actually bind something called CRP to leptin. And when it binds CRP to leptin, C-reactive protein, you can no longer, your brain can no longer hear leptin. It doesn't cross the blood-brain barrier. So your brain doesn't get the message to make you full, to make you feel full, and it doesn't get the message to make you burn fat. So what happens? You continue to eat, you continue to gain weight, you continue to feel hungry, and you won't lose weight. No matter what you do, you won't lose weight until you fix this leptin problem over here. And that's what this meal plan is all about, is fixing that leptin hormone. Now, I'm going to get into how we do this in just a minute, including the PDF and everything that you need to make this happen, that has helped people lose thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds over the years. Sold almost 250,000 copies of the book where this PDF comes from. So this whole deal is centered on what we call your big why. Okay. So I think this is a Nietzsche quote, but it says, if a person has a big enough why, they can endure almost any how, which means if you've been trying to lose weight, if you've been trying to change your diet to get your blood sugar under control, your diabetes or something like that, and you haven't been able to do it, it's because you really haven't been able to tap into a big enough why. So the first thing that we want you to do, and you'll see this in the PDF in a few minutes, is we want you to determine what your big why is. Why are you watching this video? Why are you going to undertake the next 30 days? Why are you going to do this? And if you just say, oh, I'd like to feel a little bit better, that's not a big enough why. Because what'll happen after about 2 or 3 days is you'll go, you know what? I want to eat that food, that junky food, more than I want to lose weight. So I'm going to go back to what I was doing before. You have to have a bigger why. You have to have a why that's beyond just, I want to lose a few pounds or feel a little bit better. So I have a couple examples. I had a patient who came in and wanted to work for an organization that helped kids in Mexico. So they had been down to Mexico. They had seen, it was in Juarez, and they had seen these huge dumps and these kids living there. And like, it's just horrific. And he wanted to work for an organization and do some volunteer work where they could go down and actually save and help these kids. But he was so sick that he couldn't do it. He was 100 pounds overweight. He had diabetic neuropathy for his feet. He literally couldn't get around doing the things that he wanted to do. He could walk, but he couldn't do it for long periods of time. And I said, you know what? I'm going to lose this weight so that I can go help those kids. I'm going to lose weight so I can go help these kids transform their lives. I'm going to save these kids. That was a big enough why for him to say, you know what, that's how I'm going to give up drinking soda, because it's worth more to me to go make something of my life and help these kids than it is to drink this soda. Another example, my mom is a really good example of this. She struggled with weight loss and yo-yo dieting in her entire life. And then we had our daughter, Samantha, and she said, I have a big why, and I want to be able to dance at my granddaughter's wedding. And my mom at the time was about to be put in a wheelchair, was told you're never going to be functional again. She had lupus, rheumatoid arthritis, probably would have died in her 60s at that point. And she said, you know what, I'm going to stick to this plan. I'm going to put the right foods in my body because I want to be around to dance at my granddaughter's wedding. That's a big why. And it really has to be about something else or someone other than you. So my story of my big why is I grew up on Dr. Pepper, donuts, and Doritos. I call those the 3 Ds. I grew up in rural Florida, and that we ate junk food all the time, including my grandmother, who I stayed with a lot. And when I went to school to study to be a doctor, I was going through pre-med, and I was learning how incredibly bad Dr. Pepper, donuts, and Doritos for you. Like I learned the biochemical reasons for it. So I had all this head knowledge, and I would say, you know what, I'm gonna stop eating that stuff. I'm gonna stop drinking diet soda, or I'm gonna stop drinking Dr. Pepper. And then after about 3 days, I'd be like, yeah, screw it. I'm just going to have another, Dr. Pepper. Those Doritos taste really good, because it was all head knowledge. But during that time, I got a call from my dad saying that, hey, the doctors just said that your mom needs to pick out a wheelchair. She's going to be wheelchair bound. She's in her 40s at this point. And I said, what happened? And he's like, well, she hasn't been well, but also she was watching or helping her mom. So my grandmother, because she ate Dr. Pepper, donuts, and Doritos all the time, had diabetes, heart disease, high blood pressure, all of these things. And she was dying as a result. She was having amputations. She was at 67 years old, dying at 67. And my mom was so stressed out, but because helping my grandmother through this thing as she died, that it just completely destroyed my mom's health. And I remember thinking at that time, I didn't even have kids yet, but I said, you know what? I am never going to do that to my kids. I'm never going to neglect my health like my grandmother did. Cause everyone told my grandmother, you got to turn this around. You can't keep eating this crap. And she said, well, it's never going to happen to me. Well, guess what? It happened to her because it happens to everybody if you keep doing that, and I watched it destroy my mom's health. And I said, you know what? I'm never going to put my kids through that. I'm never going to make my kids take care of me because I made poor health choices. I want to be around for my kids and enjoy my kids. That's my big why. That's when I stopped eating Dr. Pepper, donuts, and Doritos, and I never went back. So I want you to think about what your big why is, and we'll show you how to do that in this PDF. Okay. So here's what the Advanced Nutrition Plan entails and why this works so well. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to eliminate sugar. I'm going to show you why. Sugar is the absolute enemy. And before you turn this video off, you can still eat things that are sweet. You can still use sweeteners, but you can't eat white sugar. White sugar is the absolute enemy of your big why and your future. So we're going to eliminate added sugar. Number two, we're going to cut out grains. Why are we going to cut out grains for this 30 days? Because grains turn to sugar. But Dr. Eric, I thought oatmeal was good for you. Not if you have one of those 5 factors. Dr. Eric, I thought brown rice was good for you. Not if you have one of those 5 factors. So we're going to remove grains because grains turn to sugar and they trigger that leptin and that insulin hormone that I was talking about. Number 3, we're going to remove bad fats and we're going to add good fats. So we're going to get rid of junky fats like canola oil and vegetable oil, and we're going to add good fats that help you burn fat and reduce inflammation. So we're going to do that with avocado oil. We're going to do it with avocado, coconut oil, nuts and seeds. We're going to add good fats, and those good fats also make you feel full and they help you burn fat. Very little fruit. We're going to eat very little fruit for these 30 days. Now, why is this important? Because sugar, our fruit actually drives up insulin levels as well. It doesn't drive it up as much as white sugar does, but high glycemic fruits, like bananas and mangoes and things like that, they still drive up sugar. Well, I thought that was good for you. Not if you have one of the 5 factors. So when can I start eating, fruit again? When can I start, adding back grains? After the 5 factors are gone. We used to call this the healing diet. And the answer would be, when can I eat that again? When you are healed, and then you can eat it, sparingly when you're healed. But right now, like, your body has gotten so chemically imbalanced at this point with one of those 5 factors that we have to do something drastic to turn it around. And when I say drastic, it's not even that drastic. It's just eating the way your body was designed in the first place. And I'm going to show you these recipes and how this is 100% doable. Okay. And then the last one, avoiding toxins. So the things that if you can't pronounce it, don't eat it. So we'll talk about how to do that here as well with this PDF. So those are the 5 things. We're going to eliminate sugar. We're going to cut out grains, remove bad fats and add good fats, eat very little fruit. The fruits that you can eat are berries and Granny Smith apples, because those are, and even grapefruit, berries, Granny Smith apples, and grapefruit. So berries and Granny Smith apples are very low in sugar. They have high fiber, very low in sugar, and they don't cause a spike in insulin or leptin. Okay, so that's why you can do those. So you might be thinking, what am I going to eat? Well, I'm going to show you what you're going to eat in a few minutes in this PDF, so hang in there. Okay, now why are we getting rid of sugar? Sugar causes inflammation, period, full stop. Sugar causes inflammation. So I want to show you this. If you have an artery that has, which should be nice and open for blood to go through like this, when you have inflammation, the artery narrows. So you can see the space, instead of this big space where the blood flows here, you see a very small hole for this blood to get through. Now, what is your body doing? It's squeezing down. So what does your body have to do? It has to increase your blood pressure to get through that small hole. So the whole, the whole cause of high blood pressure is inflammation of the large arteries. That's what it is. That's why I see people, when they start doing this and they get rid of sugar, their blood pressure goes back to completely normal. Our blood pressure is the #1 cause of death in the world, is high blood pressure. I'm sorry, high blood pressure. So if we can get rid of the sugar, we get rid of the inflammation. Okay. And then what happens when you have, when you're eating sugar, when you eat something like stable, when your blood sugar is stabilized and you have a very narrow range of glucose in your blood, is you have just this normal blood pressure or blood sugar through here. And what happens when you have a high glycemic meal, which is something that's high in sugar, right? So that high glycemic meal would be like a Big Mac that has, white bread. It's got sugar. It's got all that junk in it. Or a plate of pasta, right? A plate of pasta is going to be high glycemic, causes a high blood sugar reaction or insulin reaction. So what happens there is your blood sugar goes way up, insulin is released, and what happens there? It stores fat. So we're going to be eating foods that keep your blood sugar stabilized so that you don't increase insulin and store fat. That's what this is all about. Okay. And when you decrease insulin, you're also going to decrease inflammation. You're going to decrease your blood fats, which is the cholesterol and high blood pressure, or cholesterol and high triglycerides. Those are the big things that we're going to get rid of. Okay. Now, where does sugar come from? Sugar is added into so many different things. Okay. So enriched wheat flour, that's going to turn to sugar, right? But you're also going to see it in a lot of other places. If you look at drinking a Coke or soda, that's going to be 47 grams of sugar in a Coke. Or if you drink a bigger Coke, it's going to be 60. And if you drink a bigger Coke, it's going to be 80 grams of sugar. You should have no more than 30 grams of added sugar per day, even just to maintain normal health, much less lose weight. So if you have one Coca-Cola, you're over what you should have. If you go to Starbucks, 47 grams in a Frappuccino. Well, let me just go to Jamba Juice. That's good for me. No, it's not. It's filled with sugar. 59 grams of sugar in a Jamba Juice, right? So we're not going to drink calories. We're going to change what you're drinking on a regular basis, and you're not going to drink this stuff because it has so much sugar and causes such damage with the leptin and the insulin. Okay, so we got to get rid of sugar, number one. Now, what can you do instead? So we don't want you doing artificial sweeteners like sucralose, which is Splenda, aspartame, which is Equal, the blue packet, or saccharin, which is Sweet and Low, the pink packet. Those are bad for you. They kill your brain cells. If you're drinking diet soda, you got to stop drinking diet soda. By the way, there's a new research article that came out recently that found that the number one beverage that causes weight gain is not Coke, it's Diet Coke. It's diet soda, because it tricks the appetite centers in your brain and you actually eat more calories, even though you're not getting the calories in the Diet Coke. Okay. So you don't want to do those, but the ones that you can do are things like erythritol, which is Swerve, xylitol, stevia, monk fruit. Those are ones that you can eat that are healthy for you, that don't cause any blood sugar effects. So they don't cause your blood sugar to go up here. It doesn't cause this blood sugar spike. It keeps a nice normal blood sugar. So those are the ones that you can do. And the ones that I go through mostly are going to be stevia and monk fruit, which is stevia looks like this. Monk fruit is usually orange. It's like an orange packet, but it still looks like sugar. But these are completely natural sweeteners that do not cause a blood sugar effect. They don't have calories. They don't cause a blood sugar or insulin or leptin effect. So example of what you can drink. So I drink vitamin water zero. So vitamin water zero is sweetened with stevia and erythritol. And it has no blood sugar effect and is really healthy and tastes really good if I don't want water. What else do you drink? Water. I drink a ton of water. What else can you drink? You can make lemonade, which you'll see in the PDF as well. So making lemonade is as simple as taking one lemon, squeeze it in a glass, put some water in there, a couple cups of water, and then a few drops of stevia, and you're good to go. And you don't have all of that sugar that which would you get when you get any type of fast food lemonade or restaurant lemonade or anything like that. So this is so much easier to do than it used to be. Even 25 years ago, these things didn't really exist. Monk fruit wasn't even a thing 25 years ago. You could hardly ever find it. Now it's so much easier to do. So you can still have sweet. If you want to make cookies, you're going to see in the advanced plan PDF, you can make cookies. You can make something called chocolate bark. You can make so many different things. If you like chocolate, Lily's chocolate. So Lily's chocolate is sweetened with stevia, and you can get that on Amazon through Whole Foods. You can get that I think you can get it at King Soopers now, Target, all of these places. Lily's chocolate has chocolate bars. They have like milk dud type things, caramels, and they have no sugar in them, and they're not artificial sweeteners. So you can do this so much easier than you used to do it. If you're you can make cookies with almond flour and sweeten it with monk fruit. So it's so much easier to do than it used to be. And then I want you to take a look at the man or woman in the mirror. So what do you really want to have happen? Do you want to lose 20 pounds? Do you want to get off of medication? Are you sick and tired of being sick and tired? Are you tired of being on medication like high blood pressure medication, cholesterol medication, or diabetes medication? Do you want to start exercising? Whatever it is. In order for that to happen, you want to find out where you stand, and then let's get a plan for this. So the way that you do that is through this 20 and 30 PDF. Okay. So we're going to send you this either a PDF or Word file. And this is out of the back of the best-selling book that I wrote 10 years ago. And it's been updated over the course of the years, and it gives you everything that you need to be well. So I'm going to share my screen and show you the actual PDF here. Here we go. So this is the actual PDF. So you're going to start with the 20 and 30 challenge, and then you're going to see the 20 and 30 challenge meal plan. So for weeks 1 and week 3, you're going to eat the same thing. And then weeks 2 and 4, you're going to eat the same thing. And what we have here is breakfast, snack, lunch, snack, dinner. Now, you don't have to eat all of those. If you want to do intermittent fasting and you want to skip breakfast, go for it. Just start with the snack or start with lunch when you start eating that day. And if you don't like, if you would rather have cheesy scrambled eggs with cheddar cheese instead of a French vanilla smoothie, then you can do that. So there's no magic to where you have to eat that on Monday and you have to eat that on Wednesday. This just gives you the options and shows you how to do this. Because if you start cooking these things and making this food, then you'll learn how to do this and how to shop for it, and it gets really easy. Okay. So weeks 1 and week 3, you're going to do this. And then weeks 2 and 4, you're going to do this. And you're going to see things like French vanilla smoothie. You're going to see half a cup of almonds, classic pot roast with sauerkraut, another dinner, juicy grilled steak with béarnaise sauce, Jamie's chicken stir fry, black bean fiesta soup. This stuff is delicious and works really well for leftovers as well. So it's just eat what's on there. Now, what if you go out to eat? I'll show you what to do in that in just a minute. So there's shopping success tips right here. What you can do when you're in the grocery store. Some substitutions. Instead of using sugar, use stevia or monk fruit. Instead of using soy sauce, we want you to use Bragg's liquid aminos. Soy sauce has a couple of different issues with it that I won't get into, but causes inflammation. Instead of using mayo or Miracle Whip, you can use Vegenaise with grapeseed or avocado oil. Instead of using regular flour, use flaxseed, almond flour, coconut flour. Instead of using regular soda, use Zevia, or you could do like those vitamin water zeros. So here's how to make the meal plan work for you. There's lots of tips there. And then what happens if I eat out? Well, if you go somewhere for breakfast, here's a thing that you can eat that still works with the advanced plan. You can do a veggie omelet, or even, sausage omelet or something with a cup of berries. If you go to a Mexican place, here's how you can do it. You could eat fajitas without the tortillas. You still get all the same flavor, but you don't need the actual tortillas. You just eat it like in a bowl. What do you get at an Asian restaurant? What do you get at a bar and grill? So it actually shows you what you can do when you go out to eat, because you're still applying those 5 things. You're avoiding sugar, you're avoiding grain, very little, you're eating good fats instead of bad fats, very little fruit. So you can go somewhere like Chipotle and do this really easily. You just get the bowl with no rice, right? You can still have beans. So if I went to Chipotle, what am I avoiding? Grains and sugar, right? So I'm not going to get rice in it. I'm saying no rice. I'll do double beans. I'll do whatever, the chicken, and then I'm gonna do the salsa, sour cream, cheese, guacamole, all that stuff that you want, and you're good to go. So that's that. And then, but the first thing I want you to do is start with your man or woman in the mirror. So there's a daily mindset moment here, and then a daily meal plan as well. So the first thing that I want you to do is take your assessment, so sit down and, okay, wherever you go, there you are. Who is in the mirror right now? So you're going to look at your BMI. What's your body mass index? And you can calculate that on this page right here, page before there. That BMI chart, if you are 5'9" and you weigh, let's go over here, 185 pounds, and you're 5'9", go down here to 5'9", you're going to be BMI of 27, which is in the overweight category. If you're in the overweight category here, the yellow, or if you're in the obese, which is the orange, you're not alone. That's a lot of people in the United States, but we want you in this healthy category, or maybe in the very first part of the yellow right here. Okay, so I want to go for a BMI of under 27. But if you're up in this, 37, 38, 32, 33, we want to move you down one step at a time. Okay, so that's one thing. You look at your BMI, and then we look at your hip to waist ratio. So you measure your waist to your hips, and you can calculate that. And then how many days do you eat sugar or candies? How many How many days do you eat fast food? What's your resting pulse? So when you look at these, this gives you a really good snapshot into how healthy are you. And then there's a key over here. How did you score? If you're 0 to 20, we have some damage to undo. So let's get going. That's the worst category. If you're 81 to 100, keep it up and find somebody else to mentor. You're already doing pretty good if you're 81 to 100 when you calculate this. So go through, calculate your score, and find out where you're at, which category you're at. Okay, because this gives you an idea of what you need to do to move forward. Okay, then you have your day 1 eating plan. Day 2, we wanted to cover your big why, right? So what is your big why? Read this. Think about what your big why is. Why are you going to stick with it when it gets a little bit difficult? Because it's not as simple as just, I'm going to eat whatever the heck I want. If you eat whatever the heck you want, you're going to look like everybody else, feel like everybody else, and be, sick like everybody else. You have to do something different. If you do what everybody else does, you have what everybody else has. So know that, yeah, it might be a little bit of a challenge, but I want to encourage you, you can do hard things. You can do hard things. Okay. So even though this might be a little bit more difficult than eating at McDonald's, if you think that health is difficult, try sickness and disease. I went to a nursing home recently to visit somebody. That's difficult. Wasting away your life in a nursing home because you didn't take care of your health and you just took the easy route all the time. That's difficult. So there's no such thing as you just get to do whatever you want and be healthy. It doesn't work that way. You have to do something that's a little bit more challenging than everybody else because nobody gets away with it for free. If you think health is expensive, try disease. Disease is a lot more expensive. Okay, so that's what you have there. And then we talk about day 3, your limiting beliefs, the things that are holding you back. And I want you to do these things on a daily basis. All the research shows that if you'll actually take this out, print this out, and do the exercises in here, you're going to be much more likely to succeed than if you just like, oh, show me what to eat. You have to start thinking of the mindset behind this because your mindset is your secret weapon. And when it comes to this, you have to have a strong mindset. You do not lack information. We have more information on how to lose weight and how to feel good than we've ever had, but we don't have the mindset for it. And that's what this 30-day challenge is all about here. Then you'll see you get into day 4, day 5, tells you what to eat, and it has a little max mind moment there. And then when you get to the end, you get to retake the man or woman in the mirror, and you'll see how much better you do. Those points add up much different after you stick with this for 30 days. And then it has your shopping list, your grocery list, and then the rest of it is recipes. So it's the recipes for all the food that you're eating right there. Okay. This is your ticket to changing and transforming your life. So if you have any of those 5 factors and you're ready to make a change in your life and get it on track, this is the way that you do it. Okay. So go to that PDF, start looking at it, start doing the exercises. If you want more feedback on this, we have a lot more videos on our Axiom Answers YouTube page. There's a video on what's called Winning in the Kitchen. Which shows you how to read food labels. What are some of my favorite products that I use that work with this? You can go to that video as well. There's so many different videos on the Axiom Answers YouTube page that will support this whole thing. But I just want to do a short video on how to make this work and how you can start doing this right away. And remember, you can do hard things. You can do it. I can't wait to see the transformation that takes place.